somewhere in that 1 year period, there was a piece by Ravel called Daphnis and Chloe, the Daphnis and Chloe Suite 2. And I thought that was marvelous. I had a lot of reservations about it. And maybe he picked it up. I never said anything to Milo. But he probably felt, and he said, Burt, you never, ever feel embarrassed or discomforted by a melody that people can remember or whistle. Maybe a little bit more than I should have. People that ran record companies, head of the A&R department. I do believe I sacrificed a couple of pretty good songs, maybe 4, 5, 6 that I can think of, because I'd hear things like, well, so-and-so said, it's really a terrific song, but you can't have a 3-bar phrase. It's really got to be a 4-bar phrase. So if you can make that a 4-bar phrase, we'll give you so-and-so to record the song, so-and-so. And I said, well, gee, they must be right. I must be wrong. A 3-bar phrase is really probably unnatural. If they think, particularly if God thinks it's unnatural. And I think what I started to do, I started to make my own records, produce records, sort of like out of self-defense. Maybe what happens, a lot of my songs, they've been born with the surround around them. Not only is the song there, not only the melodic flow, the rhythmic flow, there are orchestra colors. It's what the drums might be playing. It's where the drums come in. It's what the bass might be playing. They seem to kind of be carried along. Not fully. I think when the song is written and you know what we have, then you go back and then all the extra stuff gets kind of put into the mix. A ton of material. We had a lot of success together. And we stayed existent as a team until it was like time to everybody move on. It's sort of like a marriage. I don't know, maybe it's like dating in the field. You know? Not being married to anybody, being like right with you, or right with, that's kind of appealing to me now. I dreamt about that. I dreamt about that whole process for 2 months afterwards. Every night it was the same dream. I've never had anything like that. Once about a lady I dreamt every night for two weeks, but an album. Interesting. Always the same. Always the panic. Always the fear. I wasn't going to get it done. The time was running out. Well, I didn't know what we could really do with Dionne. I just knew she was wonderful to start with. That was a starter. And that she had some exceptional musicianship. And as Hal David and I started to write for her, I don't think she knew it hit her. We must have gone 28, 29 takes with her. Had it up early, but I kept going. Can we get better than that? Can I get one more? That'll be a little bit more. A little bit more, a little better. Just some magic.
We weren't trying to write yesterday's hit song. We wrote the songs that we kind of liked. And in the beginning, I think they sounded a little odd to some of the recording people. Oh, I think I've got a music box of maybe a half dozen or a dozen of the songs Burt and I have written together.
As it were. And we got Johnny Pearson to arrange it. And George Martin, my recording manager, fiddled about with it. And hey presto, it was a #1. And Dionne was dead choked, and she's never ever forgiven me to this day.
You seem to, rather than a whole sound picture or the excitement of rhythm, that his influence would be useful, apart from anything else, as an example of how to go about solving a problem. I was approached to write a song for a film called Grace of My Heart, a drama written and directed by Alison Anders. And it's about a brill-building songwriter and about her career. And of course, in the story, they need these songs to appear, which are credibly hits of their time. So they've employed a number of different writers to ghostwrite the songs that the character apparently writes in the story. And I had already written one song, and they came to me and said, would I like to write what I believe would be one of the pivotal romantic ballads of the film.
They decided that they wanted nothing more to do with each other, in the capacity of writing anyway. And because I was obliged to give Warner's a certain amount of albums, and produced by Bacharach David, there became a conflict. Basically, there were two people that weren't speaking to each other. So you couldn't expect them to write with each other. And I mean, it's just logic. And unfortunately, because of the problem, I would have been sued by Warner's if I had not sued Bacharach David. Burt approached me and asked if I would do some demonstration records of songs that he was writing with a new songwriting partner called Hal David. And I said, you know, sure, as long as it didn't interfere with my education and my schooling, and my mother said it was okay. And I signed with Burt and Hal as my producers, and they in turn signed their production company to Scepter Records. I say frequently, and I truly mean it, that if in fact the organ had made a mistake, or if I had coughed during the middle of the song, Scylla would have coughed and the organ player would have played a wrong note. That's how verbatim they copied exactly what was recorded. Subsequently, I must say that Walk On By was the next release.